Okay, so we got a whole bunch of answers. The catch is do we actually know how we got these answers? Because what we're getting ready to go into, you're going to have to really know how to do each piece. So when we look at this first one, it's pretty basic. I don't know how you solved it, but I'm going to show you how one way of how you could have solved it. You could have multiplied across by 10. Do you agree? That would have given you 8 equals 2x. And then you would have had x equals 4. So we basically just eliminated the denominator, right? The next one, you could have multiplied across by, once again, x plus 1. Just eliminated the denominator, and you got x plus 3 equals 5. So x equals 2. This one over here, could you have multiplied across by 14? Sure, why not? 7 goes into 14 twice, giving me 4. And then the 14 would cancel, so we'd equal x equals 4. Oh, what about this one? Could you multiply across by 2x? The first one, the x's would cancel, but the 2 would not. So you'd have 2 times 4, which is 8. The other side, the 2 x's would straight out cancel, leaving you with x minus 1. Then we can just add the 1, and we'd get x equals 9. The next one's just like cross multiplication. You got 36 equals 12x, so x equals 3. This one, you could multiply across by x plus 1. So that means my 15 would be by itself because the x plus 1s would cancel, correct? And then I'd have 3 times x plus 1 because there's nothing in the denominator over there to cancel it out. So all I'm doing is multiplying both sides. So then we get what? 15 equals 3x plus 3. 12 equals 3x. X equals 4. The other option would be to right off the bat divide by the 3. Get 5, subtract 1. This one right here, more than likely you did common denominators. If you did, you should have done 2 over 2. Correct? Instead, you could have just multiplied across by 6, and you would have gotten 8 plus x equals 15. So x equals 7. Fractions bad. We can sometimes get rid of them, right? The next one, couldn't I multiply all the way across by 2x? That means I would end up with x minus 2 because that 2x would cancel out. But then the 5 only has an x underneath it, so therefore it needs the 2 as well. It wouldn't cancel out, so that would become a 10. And then the last, the 2x would cancel out, leaving us with 3x plus 4. So we got x plus 8 equals 3x plus 4. That'll give me 2x equals 4, so x equals 2. We okay with those ideas? So taking a look at this, we're going to look at just different ways to do it. The first thing I want to think about is excluded values. You've been graphing rationals, and you know that because if we end up with a 0 on the bottom, we may have holes, we may have vertical asymptotes. In other words, we have values in the domain that don't exist. So when you look at this problem at the beginning, what are the values that x does not exist at? What are the values x cannot equal? 0 and 2. Does everybody know why? If I plug in 0 right here, I get undefined. If I plug in 2 right here, I get undefined. In this case, they want us to practice the cross multiplying method. And the reason is sometimes one will be easier than the other, okay? None of them are necessarily wrong. It's just which one is going to get me there faster. So if I cross multiply, I can cross multiply because I have a fraction equal to a fraction. I would get 30 times x minus 2, and then I would get equals 10x. After that, this is just a basic math problem from years back. So we got 30x minus 60 equals 10x. Subtract the 10x, add the 60, and we end up with x equals 3. Is that one of our excluded values? Then it is a good solution. We okay with that? Oh no, I subtracted. Subtract 10x, subtract 10x. Whoops, it's down here. And that's how we got the 20. Now, notice on this next one, what do you think I would do? I'd totally multiply across. But once again, this is wanting us to multiply, cross multiply. So I'm going to do what it's asking. Doesn't mean it's the easiest way to do it at this point. So then I got x minus 3. And here's your example of why it's not the easiest. Now I'm going to get a quadratic. Yuck, yuck, yuck. I could have made it go away. I wonder if I would have lost an answer. What are our excluded values? X cannot equal what? 3. Okay, so here we got 7x minus 21. Do you agree? And then over here we got x squared. We're going to have plus x minus 12. Is that good foiling? Does it all match? Anybody get a different answer? Okay, so now we're going to move it all to the right. Why am I choosing to move it to the right instead of moving it to the left? I want the x squared to be positive, okay? You do not want negative squared terms. So we're going to say 0 equals x squared. We're going to get negative 6x. And we're going to add that 21, which is going to give us what, 9? Now we have to factor. Yuck, 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 yuck. So we got x and x. What two numbers are going to multiply to give me 9 and combine to give me negative 6? Negative 3 and negative 3. So x equals 3. Can x equal 3? So there are no solutions. That means if we would have graphed the left side of this and we would have graphed the right side of this, they would have never touched each other. Okay? Ready for the next one? Now we're going to use a least common denominator to create a proportion. And this is setting it up so that we can cross multiply. Because as it is right now, you cannot cross multiply. Does anybody know why? I have two terms on the left. It's got to be a proportion. In other words, you got to have a fraction equal to a fraction. So looking at this, let's start off with what can x not equal based upon our initial equation? I think just 0 and 6. Because if I plug in 0 for the left 2, it would give me 0 on the bottom and then just the 6 on the right side. Okay, so to get a common denominator, do you agree the common denominator is 3x? So that means this one right here does not have a 3. The other one's good. It has 3x, right? So we can do the subtracting 4. And then we just need 15 on the other side. Do you see how both of these now are both 3x? So we have 15 minus 4. And then on the other side, we got 7 over x minus 6. So that gives me 9 over 3x. Do you think you could reduce this? Is it allowed? We could put, what, 3 over x? 15 minus 4 is not 9. I did that earlier today, too. Oh, you should have heard me first period. I don't think I could add it all. Okay, so we got actually 11 over 3x, which makes more sense because we can't reduce it, and we would have been able to reduce it sooner. Okay, so now let's cross multiply. So I got 11 times x minus 6, and I got 21x. A little more math. 11x minus 66 equals 21x. I'm going to subtract the 11x. Why? Gets me a positive x, plus it gets me my stuff by itself. faster. So I get what? 10x. So x equals negative 66 over 10. Will that reduce? Yeah. Do you want to check it? We can plug it in and check it, right? Is it one of our excluded values? Then we should be good to go. This is the same thing. While I know I could multiply across by something, we want to set this up as two ratios, so we always keep this in the back of mind if we could cross multiply. So on this left side, my common denominator is going to be 4 times x plus 2. I totally wouldn't do this one this way. Does anybody have an idea of a faster way to do this one? I would subtract the 3/4. I would have 3 over x plus 2, negative 3 over x plus 2 equal to 1/2. Definitely would be the way to go, but we're going to practice what we need to practice just so we got that in the back of our mind when we're doing these. The 4 on the bottom doesn't have the x plus 2, so that means this one we have to multiply by x plus 2 over x plus 2. Now we have 4 times x plus 2 on the left, but that means we have 3 times x plus 2 on top. This other piece has the x plus 2, but it doesn't have the 4. So we have to multiply by 4 over 4. And that'll give us the 12, which equals 5/4. We okay with that? So then if you move on, we got what? 3x plus 6 minus 12 over 4x plus 8 equals 5/4. And I'm kind of showing every single step. I probably would have skipped forward a little bit. We got 3x minus 6, 4x plus 8 equals 5 over 4. Now we're ready to cross multiply, right? We got a fraction equal to a fraction. So that means I would go 4 times 3x minus 6 equals 5 times 4x plus 8. What do we get when we multiply 4 times that stuff? Good. And what do we get when we multiply 5 times that stuff? So then we're going to go ahead and subtract our x and get it down to 8x. We could subtract our 40 and we get it to negative 64. So x equals negative 8. What are our excluded values? X cannot equal what? Negative 2. So are we okay with that negative 8? Good. Okay, my favorite is clearing out the denominator. So are we okay with these ideas so far? Cross multiply, common denominator, so we can cross multiply. Okay, bless you. My preference is definitely, hey, let's make stuff go away. Just be careful when you do it because it can get a little confusing. For example, in this one right here, I want to multiply across by the absolute smallest thing I can. In this case, I need to cancel out an x, and I also have to cancel out an x plus 1. But you have to remember, you have to multiply everything. So I'm going to multiply across by x times x plus 1. The first one I'm going to multiply is this one right here. When I multiply that piece right there, do you see how the x's will cancel out? So then I am left with 200 times x plus 1. Then I have to multiply this piece right here. You notice how this piece has nothing in the denominator? So that means nothing is going to cancel out. So that means I got 10 times x plus 1. That's the one we tend to mess up on. It ends up just being minus 10. And then the last one I'm going to multiply, this one actually has x plus 1. So those would cancel out. but then I still have the x, so I have equals 200x. And then after that, it's just cleaning it up. So we got 200x plus 200 minus 10x squared minus 10 equals 200x. 10x, sorry, my bad, thank you. Do you see how my 200x will cancel out? So then I'm left with negative 10x squared. I'm just going to put it in order while I do this. So we got a quadratic. We're going to have to factor it before we do that. Let's take out our GCF. What's the GCF on this? So we're going to take out a negative 10, which leaves me with x squared plus x minus 20. And this is going to factor out to be what? X what? Plus 5 minus 4, which is going to give me x equals negative 5 and 4. What are our excluded values for this one? 0 and negative 1. Negative 1, 0. I'm going to put it in order, sorry. So is negative 5 and 4 okay? Okay. And this is by way of basically making our denominators disappear. So let's take a look at this one. This right here, isn't that a difference of squares? That is r plus 1 and r minus 1. And then this is r plus 1, so it looks like my least common multiple would be r squared minus 1. I'm not going to write it that way because I don't want us to get it confused. I'm going to do r plus 1 and r minus 1. And that's what I'm going to multiply by. So when I take that and I multiply this left side, isn't the denominator going to cancel out? Leaving me with just r squared plus 1. When I multiply the right side, the r plus 1s will cancel out, but the r minus 1 will not go away. So we will do 5r minus 1. And then after that, we just simplify, and we're going to have a quadratic. So we got r squared plus 1, 5r minus 5. R squared minus 5r, and plus 6. So what are the factors for that quadratic? So that means r equals 2 and 3. What were our excluded values? Plus or minus 1? Okay. This is a good joke. So it's kind of one of those things as you're working through these, you pick the one that you think may get there faster. The other option is you may pick the one that you think is easier, right? To you. Okay. So whatever works for you.